Well, I'm at kind of a crux in my business, the direction, basically. So I basically took off a week of this channel because I had a flare up. Ironically, it's after I told you about how I cope with having a business with chronic illness. And there you go. While I am in a flare mode, my mind is still active. Sometimes I have a little brain fog, but basically I just have a lot of time to think and not a lot else. I have been mulling over something in my mind for a while, and you've seen me question it a little bit off and on as I was doing other videos, such as the two main postcard channels that I follow. They're basically run by people who are retired, the ones that concentrate on postcards. My inventory is growing. I'm now past 10,000. I'm having growing pains, and I am focusing more, narrowing my focus on what I like to sell. So, to me, in my mind, I know this isn't the whole picture, but there are two things going on. One is every postcard is going to have a buyer eventually. So you can just put everything up, and you just need the volume, and then once you get to a certain amount of inventory, you're going to have really good consistent sales. So that is the one that I've been going for, trying to reach 20,000 post listings. Now, there's another school of thought where you list the higher end stuff. You're going to probably pay up. You're going to have to do a little more searching, but you're going to have a higher profit margin, possibly, and less sales, but the same amount of money. So those two options have been warring in my mind a little bit, because I go through a box. This is my current box that I'm going through. These are all scanned and ready to list. I mentioned that I was doing a project on my last video. And the project was, I was pulling out of my back stock of inventory all the postcards that I thought, really aren't going to sell for more than $5 or so. And I really want to list the good ones first. And I have been doing that, listing the good ones first, like the ones that I think are going to be more valuable. And that's always a good strategy. No matter what your business model is, it's always good to list the good things first and get that sold, and then fill in with the other stuff. So that is part of both models, right? So I was sorting them out into categories, topicals and stuff, such as churches, capitals, exhibitions, and animals, whatever. So I was going to lot them up and sell them in lots like that. And then I was like, this is just taking too much time. So I stopped doing the sorting, and I put them all in a box. But before I tell you what I'm doing with this box, here's a little bit more of my thoughts. Because I have several chronic illnesses, if my goal, say, is $100 in postcards a day, and my average price is $5, that is going to be 20 postcards going out a day. Not exactly, but on average, it would be 20 postcards to package up and send out, which is, hey, it's a nice sale. I wouldn't really mind that. But if I had an average sale price of $10, it's going to be 10, half the amount of work. It would be easier to have a higher average sale price for somebody in my position where, I have limited energy and limited ability some days. Sometimes I'm just fine, but you never know when those flares are going to hit. Thought, well, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to really concentrate on the really good ones. And then, as I was sorting in that project, I found I had a really good sale week. I got like a few $100s in sales over like 3 or 4 days. And as I was packaging them up, most of them were the same types of postcards that I was sorting into lots to sell, not individually, but in a lot. And I'm like, So, if I hadn't listed these postcards, I wouldn't have had this $300 or $400 run on sales. Well, do I really go for just the high end? High end to me, okay, maybe I shouldn't put high end, but the more valuable postcards, such as over $10 or more. Okay, excuse me, it's getting warm in here. So, but then again, if I keep doing that model, I have been doing that model since the beginning, where there's going to be a buyer for everything. if I keep doing that model, I'm going to keep getting those sales, of course. That's what I've been building. That's what I've been trying to do, correct? So it was working, right? So, but then if I go towards this model where I try to go and list the larger ticket items, or, over $10 or over, then in a year, will I have like a $300 in sales, but half the things to sell. So back and forth in my mind, I'm going, I know that there are sellers out there that do that, because I've come across a few of them here and there on eBay, and one of them, I think he was selling large lots, and it says that all he does is go through, I don't remember, this was probably a year or so ago, he goes through, gets large lots of postcards, pulls out the real photo postcards, and sells the rest in bulk on auction. So he's probably not alone in that. However, my highest sold postcard was over $400, and it was not a real photo postcard. It looked like an average postcard. So there's that hunt too of, I've only been doing this for close to 2 years now, and there's a lot I don't know about postcards. I mean, it really doesn't seem that much, like $5, $10, but most of the postcards probably go for around $4 to $8, probably, I'm guessing. I don't have concrete facts, but I've noticed that that's a lot of where I price my postcards in. And my decision is I'm going for this model, going for $10 and up. Now, that isn't to say I'm never going to list lower valued postcards. But what I'm going to do is, when I go through postcards, I'm going to only pull out the ones that I think I could get $10 or more for, or ones that I know are going to sell fast, or Montana. There's a few exceptions, of course, but for the most part, I'm going to shoot for the higher valued postcards. So what I have done is I have pulled out items that I think are $5 or less. Now, as I guess on the values, of course, I could be totally wrong, and I could pull out cards that are worth, $100. Vice versa, I could pull out a card that I think looks valuable, and it's worth $1 or less. But what my mindset is going towards the higher value postcards. Last week, I took all of those postcards that I was sorting out into categories, and I just put them all in a box. Here's a box. It's in a flat rate box, and there are some good ones in here. I've got churches, I've got state capitals, I've got Tux state capitals, I've got street views, I've got railroad stuff, I've got Native Americans, I've got large letter greetings, I've got greetings from, all kinds of postcards that I intended, most of these, to list individually. So this is a box of about 1,000 postcards, and I have decided I'm going to blow them out on an auction on eBay. And then I'm done with them. And then I can start over and chase after the higher value ones. I've got a few thousand postcards in my antique booth. I think I'm going to pull them out too and just liquefy the money. If this auction goes well, right, so far it's up to like 40 some bucks. I put it up yesterday, right after the Super Bowl ended. So if this one goes well, I'm going to pull out another 1,000 postcards and sell another lot until I get to the point where I have not as much backstack of postcards. And this is a reason why I kind of slowed down on sourcing. I feel like I was buying 1,000 postcards every week. Really wasn't for a while, because I was trying to get that inventory up. And I will link the auction if you're interested in it below. And also, if you're interested in buying bulk from me, you're welcome to too. Like I said, most of these are ones that I have intended to list individually, eventually, as in somebody will come along someday and buy these, which is very true. I've even put the fish and the birds and those things, a lot of those in there, because yeah, they do sell, but they're low sellers. They don't fit into my new theory. I'm going to try this for probably this next year and see how it goes. And you might say, well, there's a recession. Don't you want to have cheaper cards? Maybe, but collectors are kind of different. Collectors will collect. When the item comes up that they want, they're going to go out and get it. I've been through several recessions. There's always people with money and willing to collect, and I think that'll be okay. Hopefully, I'm not going to eat my words. Now, my inventory, I'm not going to unlist any of my inventory. I've worked hard on getting up to this point, so I'm not going to do that. So what do you think of this? What is your model? Let me know what your thoughts on this and what your strategy is. Do you have a strategy or just list postcards? I do have a couple boxes of postcards that I need to list and go through still, so you might see some lower value cards going up, but I'm going towards the higher one on that range. So what will be interesting to see is next year, maybe around January or so, or beginning of February, I'll try to do an update on this. If I forget, please remind me, because a lot can happen in a year, who knows. And if you're curious a little bit about my thoughts leading up to this, you might want to watch this video too to get a little more idea about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.